Welcome everyone to Kiwiradio.nz, your weekly showcase of what's new, what's indie, what's alternative coming from New Zealand. We showcase an artist of the week each and every week, and we've been doing it for about 130 plus episodes. We've got the fantastic Lucy Munro this week. We're just going to kickstart the show right now. Lucy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome to have you. Congratulations.
How have you been today?
Congratulations on the recent Lyric Award as well from APRA. I'm excited about this episode.
Thank you.
Tell us about it, a bit about it yourself, for those not in the know.
Yeah, so I'm Lucy Munro. I've been making music for a few years now. I grew up as like a little choir girl, so music's always been kind of my thing, but I released my debut album in my last year of high school in 2023. And since then, I've kind of just been touring, playing some shows, recording some stuff, writing some stuff. And yeah, that's about me. I make music for all the sad girls. It's kind of my dream demographic. So the doc
girls.
Lovers, thought daughters, yeah.
Okay. We've officially crowned you as the Queen of Sad Girls. We've also had the King of Sad.
That.
We've had the King of Sad Boys, Chris Bates, on the podcast too. So I feel like I'm in royalty, like in the midst of royalty. Anyways, well, we're going to do a 3-song set. We're all about the stories behind the music. Some of you might have heard the songs already. Some of you might be new to it, but we're all about deep diving into the songs and the stories behind them. If you're okay with that, let's get started.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about them.
Awesome. Well, we've got 3 songs for tonight, starting off with the first one. It's called Knotless, and in brackets, Imperfection. Please get started with the story. What's it about?
Oh, I'm so sorry. This one I wrote honestly quite a while ago. I think it was in maybe like May, June 2022, and I was deadly sick. Had the worst like flu, and I could hardly sing. I couldn't speak. It was like in a really busy time organizing stuff in my school. And I just sat down with my guitar and I wrote it. And I've got this video on my phone, and it's horrible. Like I cannot sing any of the notes. I can't sing any of it. But it was honestly a song that hit really close to home. It was about an unfortunate situationship I might have been at the time. And honestly, it was pretty much just a direct explanation of what was going on in my life. It was really raw and really real. And I think that's why it was probably one of my most popular songs I released. It was the first single that came off the album as well. And it was amazing to hear the support and kind of what everyone thought about it. It was pretty cool.
Are you one to strive for perfection, or do you celebrate the variety of imperfection, the incomplete?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what the whole album project was about for me. I recorded it with a friend who I met online, and Rory Duncan. He's an incredible producer, and he's got a home studio that I recorded up in Muriwai near Auckland. And the album comes off is called Lost and Imperfection, so it's kind of a theme throughout. And the whole point was that like the songs were just like a diary pretty much. They were extremely raw. They weren't perfect, They were produced on a budget, and they were produced kind of just however it came out. It was just what sounds good, what do we have the capacity to do? And that's kind of, we just went from there, and it was a pretty incredible project, a great memory as well. So even though there might have been songs about times it weren't particularly fond, I can look back kind of and I've turned it into something that's like amazing and a huge part of my life now. So definitely it's hard to go, okay, I just have to stop now because it's done. It's not going to be perfect, but I think that's what helped me to connect with lots of my listeners as well, as realizing that, these songs came from my bedroom and they made it to whoever's listening. And I think that's kind of the key part of it.
That reminds me of the great quote, with limitation, we birth creativity. And
Yes.
you did it with the number 8 wire, which is the famous Kiwi saying. You just did it with the tools that you had. Obviously, you teamed up with a producer, and so you're bouncing bedroom files, and it's, reaching our ears. We're very honored to have you. We'll get started with the music. Knotless is the song. Lucy Munro is the artist of the week. You're tuned into Kiwiradio.nz. We are simulcast tonight as well on upfm.co.nz. Check that out and stay tuned. Keep it locked for the hour as we do a 3-song set with Lucy Munro.
I don't think a miracle could save us from the depths of which we're doomed. I don't believe in God, but if I did, I'd say every prayer for you. We've been holding on to it, but it's unhealthy attachment getting us through. I was holding up, 'cause they broke every part of me, but I do it all over. We were lost from the start, so I make no apologies. It was an bliss of love, and we're fraying at the seams, fraying at the seams. You only talk when it's 4:30 in the morning and you're your suicide hotline, only wanted when it's all gone wrong. We've been holding on to it, but it's just self-destruction getting us through it. Was holding up, 'cause they broke every part of me, but I do it all over. We were lost from the start, so I make no apologies. It was an bliss of love, and we're fraying at the seams, fraying at the seams.
Kiwi Radio. Hope you're doing well this evening. It is easing straight into Christmas season now. Yeah, all the shops have got the Christmas, carols and trees coming up and getting festive. It's great. But today we have Lucy Munro, who's from New Zealand. She takes a big influence, a big chunk in the pop scene, but also you may have noticed her choir background. It can be found within the roots of her musical compositions using those harmonies and classic chords that you hear from choirs. It is Lucy Munro here this evening. Now, you were bouncing, stems back and forth, going from Christchurch and Auckland, it seems. So where are you based now? Like, are you within...
Yeah, I'm currently in Christchurch. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm studying at the University of Otago.
Oh, wow.
So lots of the year I'm down there, down south.
Yeah.
But for summer, I'm back in Christchurch. I'm going up to Wellington.
Nice.
In a few weeks, and then hopefully stopping off at Auckland maybe to record.
Yeah.
So
you should
so
definitely
we'll see. Haven't.
You should definitely add Kiwi Radio to your list of live performances. We've just started introducing the in-studio performances. So we had Jenny Smith do a set, and we'll also have Chloe Bartlett doing a piano and vocal set here. We've got 4 cameras
I'd
set
be
up.
so keen.
Yeah, it's just like, another avenue. But yeah, you're welcome to do that for sure. So
Totally.
what are you studying?
I'm doing music and psychology.
Cool. Nice.
Yes.
Double major. Here we go.
Double degree.
Where do you see that taking you in, say, 5 or 10 years?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I get asked the question about where are you going with your music a lot. And honestly, it's kind of just wherever it takes me. I think I've got a pretty open mind to it all. I kind of just, if there's an opportunity, I'll take it and I'll work to that. And I just kind of hop around like lily pad to lily pad,
Nice.
from opportunity to opportunity. And it's gotten me this far already. So I think if I just keep doing what I love and putting in a whole lot of effort to do it, then it should be all good.
I find as well, especially with New Zealand music scene, it's a matter of trial and error, hopping from lily pad to lily pad, and then eventually you find your tribe, right? You find your producer, your co-writers, and you eventually naturally find that.
Yes.
Some people go down the self-production route as well, and that happens too. So, very excited. So it's early years for Lucy Munro, and doing a music degree, psychology double major as well. Very exciting. Well, what have you got planned for your listeners coming up in the new year, 2025? Is there any announcements? The floor is yours.
I don't have anything set in stone yet. I'm kind of very much in the development stage at the moment.
Yeah.
But the big plan is to release a few singles. I've got a few songs that are in the demo stage, and that's why I'm hopefully going to get recorded professionally. And the goals of the year is just kind of to release a few things, build a bit of a bigger fan base, and with that, I imagine I'll do some shows. This year, so in 2024, I played in Christchurch, Dunedin, Auckland, and Wellington. So ticked off the big four.
Yeah,
so that's very exciting. So I'm hoping to keep playing. I love playing live. It's one of my favorite things. I met some very cool people while playing my shows, especially the Auckland show where I opened for Lucy Gray. She is another incredible artist. You'll have to get her on your show.
Yeah, please.
The Lucys unite.
Yeah, we'll do a double Lucy episode.
Yeah.
Maybe even do the in-studio thing, the Lucy
that would be fun. The sad girl Lucy music.
The only criteria is your name has to be Lucy to be able to tune in, because otherwise you're not going to relate.
Yeah, we'll see how many Lucys we can get in the studio.
We'll broaden it, and we can say if your name starts with L, you can listen to the first half hour, and then we'll open it up. So I don't know. We'll come up with some marketing genius. The creative brain in front of me is already sparking.
Sounds perfect.
I'm also trying to be funny, but it's not working. But anyway, so hey, Lucy Munro is in the hot seat. This next one here is a bit of a long title, but you can abbreviate it to TWBALS. That is otherwise known as...
Yes, it gets a few...
Yeah?
This would be a love song. But it gets a few... confused people. Like I often write that it's on my set list because I don't want to write out the whole title.
Yeah.
So often how I call it is often Twobbles. Which is Twobbles is a pretty good name. Although a few people have gone, what is your song called? Trigger Warning Balls? And I'm like, oh, that's not quite what the song's called.
Don't know how they got from A to B there, but
yes.
To each their own. I mean, sometimes as artists, we got to be a little bit secretive and just be like, yeah, man, the song is whatever you think of it. It's about the wobbles, the balls, and go for it, man. Like, live it, live your life. You do you. But but maybe you can enlighten us as the songwriter, as the narrator of this music, what it meant to you.
Yeah, this one, again, very personal. Most of my songs are about personal stories. It was about a friend that I had, and the bit of friendship didn't end very well, and I was just really upset, and it was probably one of the first songs there. I think this one was in, July 2021. The song is old, but it honestly is one of my favorites. And I feel like there's so many and popular music and just on the radio you hear it everywhere and it's like, great, love that. But this one was kind of just almost an angry, not love song. It was kind of an
anti-love song even.
It was. That's why it's called This Would Be a Love Song, because the key lyric in the chorus is, maybe if you treated me better, this would be a love song, baby.
Oh.
So that's kind
Nice.
of
I like
like
that.
the root of this, yeah, the root of the song. And it's just kind of being sick of being treated badly, and it's like, hey, I can do better, and this isn't really okay because it took me a long time to realize that I didn't have to just pretend that I was all good with everything and go, actually, no, screw you, you're being mean, pretty much, which is where the song
Yeah.
kind of came from.
Now you're studying
Um,
you're studying psychology, so you can probably relate to my field. I actually work in the mental health space as a day job,
oh,
and
cool.
so I was just wondering, like, with your learnt experience now and having this outlet for music, getting those vibes out, are there any learnt experiences that you've had since writing the song?
I think honestly, my music is a really cool way to like track my progress and my feelings and things because it
I
is
love that. Yeah.
like a musical diary. So I can look back and be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what was I doing? And
That's
then
cool. I've never
kind of
I've never even heard it said in that way before. 130 episodes in here at Kiwi Radio, where of course I've heard it explained like it's like journal taking, your songwriting and stuff, but tracking it as
yeah,
well and looking back because um, each day is growth, right? It's amazing. So
totally.
I like how you said that. That was a really nice way of
Oh, thank you.
explaining that. That's cool. This Would Be a Love Song is written by Lucy Munro. We are very fortunate to have her speak about her music today. Go check it out. Are there any links that we should plug, by the way, before I press the play?
Pretty much all of my social media is at Lucy Munro _official. I'm on Instagram, TikTok. I have a YouTube, but I mostly post on my Instagram and TikTok. And I will
Yeah,
respond to my messages. So even if you're just
you do.
listening, don't know who I am, flick me a DM and I will respond and we will
Yeah.
just chat like we're best friends because that's
I,
my favorite part about it,
I love
meeting new friends.
I love how relatable you are and down to earth you are with your music. You have explained it's like journal writing for you, and it's also community building by the sounds of it too. So it's kind of
Totally.
a win-win situation for everyone. Make a friend, add Lucy Munro Official to those social links mentioned. We will mention it again at the tail end of the show. It is currently almost 7:30 here. It is 3rd December 2024, Tuesday night. If you are listening to this in the future during one of our replay sessions, hello to you too. You can check out this episode and other episodes on the MP3 archives of Kiwiradio.nz. But otherwise, let's get back into it with song number 2. Lucy Munro, give it up. Let's go. Kiwi Radio.
Maybe it's time that I figured it out. Speak from my head, not just out of my mouth. Taking, not giving my heart and soul. Happiness can't be a one-way road. Why'd you pretend that you even cared? I put up those walls because I was scared. Facades only last when you want them to, but now I see right through. Oh, bliss and romanticness, or are we just hopeless? Let's try again, make amends, play pretend like we aren't over. I wish I had called it quits. You fed me lies, but they're full of hope. I'm sorry you need me, I love you, yet we just explode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm done. If you treated me better, this would be a love song. Maybe I played all your games, but I'm losing a step would be a love song, baby. I played all your games and it's driving me crazy. If you treated me better, this would be a love song, baby. I played all your games, but I'm losing. It's driving me crazy. Now I'm down in a muck and you think we're in love. I'm sorry for ignoring your calls, but they're not wanted no more.
You're tuned in to Kiwiradio.nz. Speaking of our lovely tribe, a lot of our listeners are past guests and musicians, including, I love it when you interact with the show people as well. So if you're tuned into the radio station now, there is a YouTube link on Kiwiradio.nz. You can find my beautiful face there in 4 different angles, and you'll also find the lovely chat room, which is where Emma Rutherford is actually in the chat now saying that she really loves your music and that she actually played a show with you in Wellington and thinks you're amazing. So isn't it lovely?
Emma is lovely, yes. Emma is the sweetest.
Yeah, she's pretty good too, right? She's got some lungs.
Yeah, I listen to her songs as well all the time, and they're incredible. So it's very cool to be interacting with loads of talented artists as well.
That's awesome. Now, this is what it's all about. Our community, our tribe, Kiwi Radio. Let's go. Anyways, 3rd song. Are you having fun, by the way, Lucy? Are you doing good?
I'm having so much fun. Yes,
Awesome.
This is great.
Now, are you
New and exciting.
Yeah, new and exciting. There we go. Got to try one new thing each week, people. Live your best life.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Now, speaking of living best lives, have there been any interesting stories with you? Have there been any cool gig stories or fun interactions with people? The floor is yours. I'm just trying to look for positivity. Was there something someone said to you?
I think probably, well, I actually just got a message, about maybe 10 minutes ago from a girl who I used to know from intermediate school, and she's been following my music and she's listening in at the moment, or she was when she messaged me, and she's like, oh, it's going so well, keep going.
Shout
It was
outs.
the sweetest interaction. Yeah, Millie. So shout out to Millie. She is the sweetest. And everyone, honestly, any single...
This next number is dedicated to Millie. All the Millies out there, not just the Millie.
It is.
Yeah. No, we love that. That's cool. And so
Yeah, I think gig story though. A year ago today, I played at a Rolling Stone with one of my friend's bands called Fan Club. And after the gig, I met this guy came up to me, and he was talking to my parents, and he was like, "Oh, we love Lucy," and his name's David Milligan, lovely guy.
Yeah.
And he has a foundation that supports like specifically Christchurch, but can be wider, like talent, whether that's like music, the arts, sports, things like that, and sponsors people. So he actually sponsored me this year and funded some things for me. So all I did was he saw an Instagram reel of mine promoting the gig, and he was like, oh, go check it out. And small things like that can make a huge difference. So he sponsored me, and because of that, I got to fly up to Auckland. I could pay for flights and things.
Wow.
And I bought an electric guitar and an amp just recently, which would have never been possible because being a broke uni student does not align with a music career particularly well.
Yeah.
But honestly, there are so many amazing people out there, and it's all about just putting yourself out there, just committing, and like, yes, you'll get reels that get 200 views. Like the reel that I posted did not get many views, that specific one, but that was the one that he saw, and he was like, well, great. So I think a key message is just keep going, put yourself out there, and like, yes, it might be flopping on TikTok. Yes, someone else might be doing 1,000 times better than you with followers, but it's just all about the people you meet and taking people up on opportunities if you can. So that would be my message.
I've become a bit of a, I don't know if you call it a Buddhist mindset as such, because there's quality over quantity, right? You're speaking in my language here, because sometimes those real life connections are the ones that really stick with you, and you become friends with them, or you have these experiences that, as you mentioned, that you never would have had, and it's just those real connections sometimes are way more meaningful. Would you say?
Yeah, I've made so many cool friends, like people I would have never met. They live in different cities, they're older, they're younger. They're like, we have nothing else in common particularly. And then it's like you meet them because of music and you're like, oh my God. And you end up talking to them every day. You end up like catching up when you're in their city, things like that. And it's such a cool like community, especially with lots of the young artists. Like I'm in a few group chats with some really cool artists and some people who support us. And it's just like such a fun little friendship community. And it's honestly so cool. Like the amount of people who I would have never met if I hadn't, put my music out there. Because for ages I was like, oh, I don't know, like no one's going to listen to it. No one's going to want to hear it. It's like, oh, there's no point. It just gets, a few hundred streams. But then I was like, hold on. Like, I think for me, the thing is, even if it's only one person who hears my music and goes, wow, this is really cool, or wow, I really relate to this, I understand this, and like gets a sense of connection or gets something out of it, then that's one more person, who I would have never met. Like there's people who are across the world who I haven't met, but like, I talk to regularly and they're like, huge supporters, and like we've, talked online, and like it's just such a cool opportunity. It's like, even though it's really scary to put yourself out there and keep going, especially when you're not getting really the feedback that you'd like or like things like that. But honestly, like it's totally worth it in the end.
Like if you look carefully on our Instagram page, instagram.com/Kiwiradio.nz, that's why I specifically wrote the tagline, make art, not content. Because I feel like sometimes, especially now, younger generations, especially the ones that have lived with internet, you can be really stuck in that loop of comparisons, and then you kind of get lost living your life, your best life, because you're trying to compare and reach sometimes unattainable sort of milestones reached by others. Some other people might have more resources or connections and stuff like that, and it's really easy to compare, whereas I find that I've become happier through life when I'm feeling content in my own progress. And
honestly,
that's why I mentioned, just make art, not content. Don't worry about getting your next dopamine fix because your next post got viral and stuff, right? And so now you're trying to redo that and get another viral thing, and you get stuck in that and making content stuff. Whereas some of the best artworks are the ones that are really vulnerable, they're really personal, and sure, it may only reach a few people, but you really can make really deep connections, really meaningful ones.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really cool.
Like I've had a few TikToks. It's always the TikToks that you don't really want to go viral that go viral, and it gets you likes. I've had like over 1 million views on a video.
Wow!
But
see, I'm an older cat, and I'm like thinking I can't keep up with all these social media platforms.
Yeah.
The attention economy really isn't. The attention economy for me, I find a much more value and purpose and pleasure when I'm concentrating on my own progress, and so with that, we're just removing all that fuzzy noise, right? Which is 1 million views is fantastic, but I mean, you can tell me, because I've never had a viral content like that before. How many of these people now reach out to you on a daily, or was it sort of like a one-hit thing? What happened? You can tell me. You can honestly educate me, to be honest.
So
let's get real too, because Kiwi Radio is about the realness too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like most people who see like your viral videos they're not the people I'm closest to, but the ones who have seen or like commented on the videos that only have a few hundred views. I feel like honestly, sometimes those are like the most meaningful connections, or the ones that end up actually taking you down, like more developing avenues, because like it's not easy, but it's kind of mathematical. If you can work out, if you just follow trends, if you use trending audios, make something you think people are going to be relatable, it's probably going to get more views. But if you make content that's actually real to what you are trying to achieve, then you're going to get loyal fans rather than just people going, haha, funny, like, you know what I mean?
You reminded me of
And so
another
obviously-
artist I interviewed recently who said that they were struggling with the whole consumerist aspect of making art. You know, where you're trying to almost
it's
copy
so
the
tricky.
cookie cutter thing to become viral, to be the next thing that's a thing of the week, right? And there's a real science, as you mentioned, right? There's a real science to it. You need like a diploma in PR and stuff or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll give you an example. There's this one guy that I had on my show, and his name is Priyana, which is, I think, some language for Brian. And I met him once because I was at my brother's stag do, and he was our captain for the day. And because I'm the friendly kind of person, I always come up to people, regardless of how, you know, if they're just complete strangers, and I'm like, so tell me, what's your story, man? What's your story? And I just get,
Very good trait to have.
yeah, and I just kind of stay silent and I let them speak. Turns out he's this amazing guitarist, and he's been making these records for himself, and they are good quality. And it's this really beautiful Spanishy kind of, you know, Sting vibe, you know, early Police vibe, Sting, and really nice Spanish licks. And I'm like, you know, this guy has no audience, and I had him on my platform, and I'm like, this music is really beautiful, like amazing, you know, the songwriting, the structure of it, you know, it was really, in my opinion, very commercial, but you know, there is a science to, you make the thing, which is the music, and then how do you plug it now? What's the product? And yeah, I've had guests in the past say they struggle with that commercialization. Is what are we actually curating as a product now that the music is out? You know, that's a struggle for most indie artists. So,
definitely myself too.
Yeah, but what I like about you is your voice is very raw. Right? So regardless of what you put in the background, I really, and it's funny, you're talking to me now, you're speaking, and I've heard this from vocal coach, your speaking voice is very different to your singing voice. It's quite majestic in a way, you know, like you in a trance. It reminds me sometimes of sometimes I'll see a show, and because the artist is really nervous, they'll start cracking jokes and speaking in between, and I always kind of think to myself, I'm like, you're like the Pied Piper sometimes, where you've lost the hypnotic trance because you're almost like the siren when you sing, and then you talk in a Kiwi accent like this and gonna introduce, and I'm like, whoa, wait, you know, the trance is gone.
Yeah,
what I'm
I think
saying,
my speaking voice doesn't quite live up to the singing voice in terms of
I'm just
angelic qualities.
No, I'm not, you know, mocking your accent or anything, because we're both
we're
both Kiwi. But I'm just saying,
I don't think you can say much.
When you do sing, I can tell it's from a place of meaning. Like your songs actually mean something, and I can tell that by just like the little natural vibratos and stuff, and the emotion behind the words. So I like that. It's like, you know,
Thanks.
you know Bob Dylan, right? They always say Bob Dylan was never the most, you know, the best vocalist out there, but he had really good poetry, right? So, and it was really meaningful. And I'm very excited to be sharing these stories. And you can tell I like to rant. This is the theme of the show. We like to talk, deep dive into
me too.
into the stories. This is the one time where we say, let your accent out. The one time. But otherwise, gigs, not so much. Now, speaking of, though, when you are at a gig, be truthful. Tell us some of your most recent gig experiences. How did that go? Because you're mentioning
honestly,
that was like your second home, you know.
Yeah, no, I love performing. I still get so nervous though, like every time, no matter who it is. But I'll just like be so worried about getting this right, doing this right. My last gig I technically played was in Dunedin. It was the last pint night of the year. So for those who don't know what Pint Night is, it's a Wednesday night at the student bar, and it's just a whole lot of drunk people and a whole lot of loud music from local bands and artists. So it's a good time. But it was the last one of the year, which was pretty exciting to get asked to play, and I had the prime slot as well.
Nice.
So there was a whole bunch of like third years and fourth years who were graduating. So like, oh, got to go out for our last Pint Night, even though it's like about a week out from exam season. But you got to celebrate your Pint Nights.
Sure.
They have $6 pints. So
Nice.
I played that, and it was the venue was at capacity, so there must have been, I think, 350 people there, which is technically my biggest gig that I've played. And I played with a bunch of my friends who I'd met in my courses, in my performance class, and we played a bunch of originals. Obviously, the crowd isn't particularly there for, but they got really into it. But I chose some covers, and it was such a cool experience because being a small artist, it's very rare that you have people like singing with you. But I was singing, I can't remember what song. I think I did Teenage Dream by Katy Perry, High and Dry by Radiohead.
I love Radiohead.
I had kind of a mix. Yes, I had a mix of everything. What else did I do?
That's another thing I like about following an artist. I was signed to an indie label for about 3 or 4 years. And one of the best takeaways I got from my manager at the time was come up with a cover that's uniquely yours. And I think we were toying with, I was with a 4-piece rock band, very prog rock at the time. It's another lifetime, guys. Don't worry about it. But anyways, at the time, he was like, yeah, you should like cover Britney Spears' Baby One More Time, but like make it real prog rock. And I was like, yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no. But I look back at it and go, actually, there's some validity.
Validity?
There's some validity in that because I look back and say some of the musicians that I follow now, I can strongly recall Muse as being one of them. The very first song I heard from Muse was Feeling Good, which is a jazz standard. At the time, as a teenager, I didn't know that. I just heard the song and I heard this rock band do this really powerful, feeling good, and I was like, wow, right? And that was my first impression, as they say, first impressions last. And so, I don't know, I think there's some validity in that, and I can't speak to that. Yeah. But there we go.
I think choosing good covers can definitely make or break a gig, especially if they're not there for you specifically, if it is there, for a main act or for just because it's an event or something. I think choosing covers that you like, but also that you think your fans, like whoever's in the audience, will like. Because I think my band and I did Hot to Go by Chapel Roan, and the whole room was dancing, and I just felt like completely famous, and they were all shouting. It was great. It was so fun.
Yeah.
So I think, obviously, Chapel Roan's like a great musician, so taking inspiration from her as well in my music. So it's kind of cool to be like, okay, if you like these covers, you'll probably like my music. So I think it's important to choose covers that are like something you like and suits your voice, something the audience will know, and something that's somewhat related to your music. Obviously, Hot to Go doesn't sound like my released music necessarily.
Yeah.
But people who like, if you have similar tastes in music, obviously I like my own music, and if I like Chapel Roan, maybe they will like Chapel Roan and then like my music. Is kind of the mentality I've got going.
No, I love that, and I definitely encourage people to do that. If you are plugging original music, though, do you put a limit in covers so that you're not, assumed as a cover band? Like, do you maybe keep it to 2 or 3, or do you have a game plan, or just kind of mix it up?
It depends on the set, honestly. If I'm playing kind of as Lucy Munro as like an act for a specific gig, I'll mostly put in maybe like 2 or 3 covers depending on the set length. But for the Pint Night one, because it's more of like just a feel-good hangout space, I played about 50-50 covers and originals because it was an hour-long set as well. So I thought, a good balance between music that I want to play for me as well, and then also music that I want everyone to enjoy and know and dance to and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think it went well.
Now, we are a music community here, so there'll be people in different stages of their creative journey. What's one thing you wish you knew before starting your career in music?
Ooh, it's a good question. I think I would have to say, kind of going back to the point that I made earlier, that even if, you can see other people who started at the same spot as you and who seemingly have more, or, they might have heaps of streams or heaps of views or something, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're ahead, or it doesn't, because there are things that you have that other people don't have, and there are things that other people have that you don't have. And that's just the reality of it. But if you love what you're doing and you love what you're producing and you're enjoying it, then that's kind of really what matters. And if no one else likes it, then bit of a shame, but that's just life, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it's just actually about doing it because you love it, not because you're looking for a specific goal. Like releasing an album is not a strategic, like in terms of marketing and trying to get fans and stuff. Releasing a debut album with 0 monthly listeners pretty much and a very small fan base and no experience is not a strategic, like, successful idea. But it was what I wanted to do because I had, I had a really, my producer and I, because we were both new and starting out, it was our project together. So we went 50-50 on splits.
Nice.
And then I didn't really pay him for the studio time, which obviously if I had to record an entire album in a professional studio, it would cost tens of thousands of dollars,
Yeah. It's funny you say that because my most success story is because I used to do sit-in audio engineering for other artists. Like, I was basically not always the senior producer sometimes, but sometimes I was like the one helping. Whatever you call that, I can't think of the word. And so anyways,
producer?
Assistant. The guy that makes the coffee, that maybe tweaks the EQ every now and then, maybe. If your main producer is miking the drums, that kind of thing. So I had a couple of York Street sessions in me as well, which is kind of like Roundhead level at the time. They've closed down now, but it was that kind of level. And I got connected with a pop artist at the time who was getting lots of radio play, and he lasted on mainstream radio for about 4 years. His name is Josh Lees, by the way, if you want to deep dive into that. And I co-wrote a few songs for him, like I was just the synthesizer dude. He called me the ear candy guy because I was just the one with the quirky synths in the background. I love ear candy. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm just helping. You're a friend. I went to music school with you. Just name a thing. I really didn't do much. I just put like a synth line there and you used it as the hook, but whatever. And I said, I lowballed myself. I was like, give me 4%. That 4%, because it was like pushed by a label at the time, the 4% made more of a passive income for me than some of my works with a band that I was working with where I got like 50% cut or 25% cut,
Yeah.
So I guess it's also behind who's the team driving it too can be really key. Because
definitely.
I like what you say. We all have a part to play, and we can't do it all sometimes. Well, we can, but we'll be a master of none and a jack of all trades. So having that tribe, and the thing I like about Kiwi Radio is I'm starting to connect with my little community and niche as well. I'll give you an example. There's another radio DJ on Kiwi Radio, Simon Towers, who does a Thursday night weekly show with us. And I've been listening to his show for like years, essentially, but for some reason I'd never gone to his gig. He was doing a pre-party. They've got a big gig coming up New Year's Eve, Dimensions Festival up north. And he's part of that Dimensions group. And I was like, you know what, I'll come in, shout me a ticket and I'll do some videos and photos for you. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll shout you a ticket. And I got to bring my mate Vinny, and we had a great time. And that was a good night. And I got to be creative too, be the photography guy. And it was just so much fun. Because sometimes I feel like, especially raves too, I went to this rave, speaking of storytelling, I hope you don't mind me just there.
No, I don't at all.
I was in the bathroom and already these two guys were like, hey man, you want to try some illicit thing that, the next name of something, because I'm not cool. I'm like, I don't know what that is. You want to try it, man? I'm like, I'm all good, man. Like, you do you. And because for me, like, because I've got a creative outlet, it keeps me clean because I'm not trying to resort to escapism that other people might have, because they don't have an outlet, right? So I'm just really thankful for that. The fact that I can go completely sober and come out sober at the other end of it because I'm so passionate about something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I have to give myself a pat on the back because a lot of Kiwis, especially, would be like, "Yeah, man, I'll take a trip," you know, and it's just all too easy. I don't know. What about you? Are you clean cut? Are you Fresh Prince of Bel-Air raps, or are you more illicit?
Depends who's asking. No. Overall, I'm pretty good. But yeah, I think it is cool having music as like a kind of like a healthy outlet. You know, it's a good way to process emotions. It's a cool way to be able to actually understand them. I feel like sometimes I'll write a song and then I'll look back once it's written and I'm like, oh, that's how I was feeling. And you don't even realize until you've written it and you're like, well, that perfectly explains how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool.
What else is really cool is when people interact with the show. So I'm glad we're talking stories because I feel like if we don't extend these stories to the outer limits of where we can take it, people don't participate as such. But in this case, Alan has posted a comment, and I'm not sure who it's directed to. I'll read it out, though. It says, "This guy has a real masculine voice." So, Alan, are you talking to me?
Maybe.
Yeah. There's this comic book, Lucy. Do you like The Simpsons?
Yeah, I guess.
So, what's Homer Simpson's boss's name? What's his name?
Couldn't tell you. I don't like it that much.
Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns. He's like,
oh yeah.
Mr. Burns is looking for an assistant to help him with something, and he's like, and Homer Simpson's like playing Pac-Man in front of this arcade. And he's like, "You there, the fat yellow round one, come here." And he's like, "Are you talking to me or Pac-Man?" I don't know who Alan's talking to. But Alan, if you can let us know. And thank you for, by the way, participating and joining us today. We have 7 minutes left of the show. We definitely can talk, and that's what it's all about. Lucy Munro is in the hot seat today. You might want to sign off with your last track. It's called 17. The floor's yours. I'm going to let you talk for a few minutes now. Please tell us what you want to share about this one.
Totally. This one is actually unreleased, so I don't think anyone's ever heard the full song. So...
yeah. In the industry, they call that exclusive. That's exciting.
Yeah, so I wrote this in my sorry, got distracted there. In my performance class with a band, we had to create original music, and I pretty much wrote the song in one day before our assignment was due. But it turned out to be one of my favorites. Hence the name. It's kind of captured the essence of being 17. I think 17 was an extremely pivotal year in my life. It's where I wrote most of the album. It's where I recorded most of the albums. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of interactions. There's a lot of drama, a lot of struggles, a lot of highs and a lot of lows, of course. But I kind of just wrote the song explaining my life at 17. And I remember I showed it in our workshop to all my lecturers and my teaching staff and the peers, and David, who's the guitar teacher, he's an incredible musician and producer. He actually produced the song for us, which is really nice. And he was like, wow, I feel it. I'm 17. He goes, the room's spinning. And, everyone was instantly kind of drawn back to when they were 17, which was kind of the goal of it. It's very real. It includes a lot of like little side stories that you'd never know unless you were like one of my close friends. And it's a really personal song, but it's also a bit different to my other music because it's quite bittersweet. It's got the kind of sad lyrics you actually read into them, but more of a happy feeling. which is kind of almost like a metaphor of how I was feeling at the time. You know, I might not have been doing the best mental health wise, but, you know, I was presenting very well. I was, you know, getting great grades in school, hanging out with my friends all the time, making music, like doing that. So that's 17, and it's just about being 17 and how complicated it is and how romanticized it is as well.
Mm-hmm. Takes me back. What was I doing at 17? I think I was freaking out that it was going to turn to 2000. And for those not old enough, back then we thought our toasters were going to attack us. Like it was the end of the world. Like, because for some reason, producers of technology didn't think to like insert two 000, you know, and it was just going to fry and short circuit the technology, and then, you know, toasters and refrigerators were going to start attacking us. So that's what I was doing at 17, I think. Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah, that's not quite what mine's about. I was a bit more angsty than that, but toasters is also a cool way to go. Well, there's not a lyric about toasters in the song.
Oh, Lucy, thanks for...
I think one of my other songs talks about toast. I think it has the word toast in it, and burn it all down. Yep, talking over toast. That's the opening lyric, to burn it all down.
Not many songs have toast as the theme. I was listening to Flight of the Conchords recently, and some of the words that they rhyme together, oh man, I just love that humor, eh? So Flight of the Conchords, shout out to you. But also... back to you, Lucy. Thank you so much for explaining your stories, sharing some of your music. Please give us another final plug of where people can find you. I'll play the song, and then we're out of here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, first of all. It's been an absolute pleasure. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Lucy Munro _official. Munro does not have an E, and I stand by that's the correct way to spell it, Munro. It gets misspelled a lot when people are trying to, like, they hear it Munro and then they type it. So Lucy Munro _official, and I'm just Lucy Munro on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, whatever you listen to, I'll be there. Just search me, and
we can simplify it too. I found a link with all those pages there, all in one little hit there. So that's Linktree, which is linktr.ee/Lucy Munro _official. Very consistent with your tags there. Lucy Munro.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Official. Thank you, Lucy. We hope you stay cool, stay creative, and
thank you so much.
Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful rest, you know, throughout New Year's, and I hope you come out of 2024 feeling excited and creative for 2025. We look forward to seeing what you put out, and wish you all the best. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, we're going to play your song now, and you're tuned into Kiwiradio.nz. Shout out again to Alan there, who's letting me know that he's got a new bar open as well. So I'll message you. We should message each other there, Alan. Maybe get some shows happening with some of our guests. Let's do it. And but yeah, thank you, Lucy, again, and have a good night. This is 17 by Lucy Munro. Take care, everyone, and you're tuned in to Kiwiradio.nz. Bye for now, and see you next week. We've got a lot of exciting performances coming up, including Chloe Bartlett, which he will be actually doing an in-studio performance. That's very cool. That's only like the second or third one we've done. And again, that invitation is out to you as well, Lucy, if you want to do that in the future and feeling good about it. The invitation is there as well. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Let's play the song. Kiwi Radio. See ya. Bye, everyone. Gonna play the song right now. It is brand new. It is an exclusive as well. As Lucy mentioned, it's not been put out. It's really unreleased. So if you're feeling excited as I am, let's listen to the tune right now. It's called 17.
roads, it's October, spring is here, I'm getting older. My skin don't fit the same around my thighs.
Swimming shallow water, I am not my mother's daughter. At least I tell myself that to get to sleep at night.
Lately it's been different,
Going crazy, no one's listening.
I'm not strong enough to fix this on my own. On my own.
Hardly ever home, the taste of freedom's all I want. I crave to leave it all behind.
Hold my breath until I'm numb, filling up my blackened lungs, doing all the things I said I'd never try.
But lately it's been different, going crazy, no one's listening. I'm not strong enough to make it out alive.
Space and time are healing, but I'm lonely and I'm bleeding. If the tree falls, doesn't make a sound. Make a sound.
4:30, auburn hair, 12 drinks in. I'm 17, mom is sick, I lost my friends. Maybe it was all just a dream. 4:30, auburn hair, 12 drinks in. I'm 17, mom is sick, I lost my friends. Maybe it was all just a dream. 4:30, auburn hair, 12 drinks in. I'm 17, mom is sick, I lost my friends. Maybe it was all just a dream. 4:30, auburn hair, 12 drinks in. I'm 17, mom is sick, I lost my friends. Maybe it was all just a dream. All just a dream. A dream of 17. All just a dream. 4:30, auburn hair, 12 drinks in. I'm 17.
You're tuned into Kiwiradio.nz. I was going to sign off. Alan, if you do want to call in, I'm just opening up the line right now. And if anyone wants to call in, I've got a few minutes spare. It is 09889 8555. That's 09889 8555 if you want to call in and say hello. Otherwise, the other way to do it is you can leave us a voicemail on the website, Kiwiradio.nz. It is open 24/7 if you want to leave a voicemail, say hello, intro a song if you're one of those artists, with a new song, intro that and we'll play it. I'll actually play one of my songs, I think, if you're okay with that. I've been really creative recently, making a bunch of remixes for people, and I'd like to, if possible, play one of those songs if I can find it. Otherwise, I might just leave it for next time. Yeah, call in 09889 8555. Let's go with a phone call. Otherwise, I can't find the song I wanted to play, so I'll play this random one here by Mote. It's a Kiwi artist. It's called Give It To Me. Kiwi Radio.
So you wanna take a chance? Give it to me one more time, a feeling. Hold me down and let us dance. Let me know so I can feel it.
Kiwi. Okay, if you're tuned in, I will be signing off in a few minutes if we don't have any calls. The number to call now is 09889 8555. That's 09889 8555.
You wanna take a chance? Give it to me one more time with feeling. Hold me down and let us dance. Let me know so I can feel it. Calm me down with the cool water. Hold me tight and you won't regret it. Calm me down with the cool water. Hold me tight and you won't regret it.
You're tuned into Kiwi Radio. Looks like we're going to be wrapping up now. Closing those lines there. We didn't get a bite this time round. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but that's okay. It's all about you if you're feeling comfortable. We're always here Tuesday nights anyways. Tuesday nights 7 to 8 p.m. New Zealand time. And if we're away during the holiday season, we'll be playing replays. You can find out more about our schedule on Instagram.com/Kiwiradio.nz. And in answering your question there, Alan, in the chat room, who are our sponsors? Well, we have had sponsors in the past, but really the main ones are you, the people listening in. So that's people like MDWH, Anarchy, Rebellion, Gaia, John T. You can tell I know these names off by heart because there's only a select few who keep the radio service running. And you can too, for as little as $2 a month. You can unlock unlimited, downloads of 130 plus episodes and hidden podcasts. And we even have a feature where you can ID the tracks that are playing on air, just little bonus content for becoming a member. And please, we hope you do become a part of the community. If you are artistic and you've got some music coming up, there's a few ways to reach me. You can reach me via email, which is kiwiradio@proton.me. You can check out our Instagram.com/kiwiradio.nz. You can send a DM there, a direct message, or send a voicemail on the website. And click the voicemail direct from your phone if you have to and say hello that way. I got a really good voicemail the other day from Brett in Australia, and he was at a party and someone was DJing at his party, and he was, obviously off his nut a little bit, but it was fun. He was like, "Yo, Ralphie, play the tunes." And I was like, "That's dangerous. You sent me a voicemail. I'm going to turn it into a radio link here." And sure enough, I did. And he's a good guy, though. He's a good friend. Always recommending some really cool tunes as well. So I'll be adding those in the playlist. And I'd love to know who you're listening to as well, especially if they're independent, especially if they're Kiwi. We just love uncovering the hidden gems. Okay. Well, there's no calls on our number this week, so that about wraps up the show. I did try and get people to call in, but no bite this week. We'll try again next week. We want to say thank you to Lucy Munro for being a wonderful guest. I'll be signing out now. It is Christmas season. I hope you're doing well. And please stay cool, stay creative, everybody. Take care.